for
Man,
females
look
to
at
apply
him,
to his
bro.
pimp.
Look at him. You outside on the blade, bro. This is a auntie bill right here, bro. This is the auntie that if you got a problem in school and niggas is trying to jump you, you gonna call this auntie right here. This auntie coming outside to squabble with kids, champ. And you got the nerve to be violating women when you resemble one is nasty work on my soul.
Top when I drop, yeah. Could you imagine steam pull up on you with the top down? I done been around, lock shop down. Twin Desert Eagle, turn your block round. Never seen recession, nigga. I'm a weapon, so rock with the stocks down. Nearly co-possession, nigga. I was reckless, 50-50s in my socks now. Gotta get it how I get it.
Now we only 5 months down the line from when the 6-0s got wrapped up in the Rico, and the feds stayed in the city and came over the Fig, taking down 11 people where they got some nasty allegations.
Now there go P4K right there. And this is I don't know, I may have showed this shit a couple of times where Donald Trump was talking crazy. Donald Trump was talking crazy. Donald Trump said he wants all the gangs out of here. He wants all the human traffickers out of here. He know where y'all at. I played this clip about 4 or 5 times on my page, bro. So y'all think it's Smacc because he said what he said. But it was already about to happen to y'all.
And I gotta say, I gotta give a warning to y'all that's listening. It's gonna be some raw details with what the feds are alleging these defendants have done. Now again, everything is just allegations. They innocent until proven guilty. But you already know how the feds is coming, man. They've done their homework and they really started it by piecing together everything about the Hoovers. Now, we got some high profile names on this case. Y'all know we got Lady Duck as the lead defendant on this case. And a lot of people ask, how's the only female on this case the lead defendant? For y'all that's in the city, y'all done heard her name before. Y'all may know her. You already know Lady Duck is not playing. She was already sitting down on the state case for 30 flocks and had a release date. And now the feds have put the squeeze on her and they finna take.
Look at all these names, bro. Look at all these names, bro. What it say? It say racketeer, influence, and corruption organization, conspiracy, trafficking of children, or by force, fraud, or coercion, transportation of a minor for trafficking, exploitation of a child. Champ.
Everybody down to MDC. And just to give y'all an idea of what Lady Duck got going on in this indictment, the feds got somebody on tap trying to sell Lady Duck a female for a rack. And if Lady Duck didn't want her, they said they was gonna sell her organs across the border. Lady Duck replied, what she look like. So that's the type of role they allege Lady Duck is playing in this indictment. But not only is Lady Duck on here, y'all know we got P4K out the Baby Stone Gorillas from BPS. Everything they was saying about dude, the feds are alleging that him and pretty much everybody else was involved in some nasty activity on Fed. Now with the Rico, they saying that the Hoovers are an enterprise, a full organization that's running a monopoly on the west side of South Central. And as the feds put it, they are operating from Fortray to the one-way. But not only do they got the Rico charge, they got the trafficking of the minors by force, fraud, or coercion, transportation of a minor, exploitation of a minor. They got trafficking, money laundering, and they got the firearm purchases stacked up against these dudes. But overall, it's 24 victims, with 8 of them being. And what I've seen is ranging from ages 14 to 17. Some crazy work that's being alleged in this indictment. But this whole situation started off in February 2021 and ended last week, August 7th, 2025, where they unsealed this indictment and turned the heat up on everybody. Now, February 9th, 2021, Lady Duck was caught with 9 racks, some fake pills that had that in it, and the scale for distribution. This is the starting point where everything started to go left. And this is when the feds started to fully build their case on the Hoovers as a whole, not just the pimping. They pretty much got everything except for in this indictment surrounding the Hoovers. They've been studying their rivals. Of course, they well-known rivals and allies. Those facts are pretty well publicized in the streets and, of course, on the internet. But the feds are alleging that the Hoovers got about 1,800 active members right now, and they had 3 main strongholds in this operation. 2 of them being motels, one of them the Stadium Inn, and the other one the 110 Motel, with the Stadium Inn being on Vermont and the 110 Motel being off Florence. And the feds are also alleging that the House of Hotties off Fig, that little female clothing store, was one of the key pieces in helping strengthen the enterprise of the Hoovers. Now, the feds said they were studying the
Bro, who's telling? Them know everything, bro. Bro, who told her? Yeah, listen, man, that's why I be trying to tell y'all, bro, to chill out. Now, do I think that it had anything to do with Smacc? No. We're gonna get back into that after this video. I think they've been looking at these for a little minute, bro.
Hoovers for a long time, and they seen even if the Hoovers is having internal conflict between one of their sets, they noticed that when it was time to put in work, all the sets was coming together for Hoover. And this is what they using to prove that they running a full-fledged enterprise. And they also dug deep into how people was getting put on and who exactly was getting walked on because of their family ties into the Hoovers. Now, this is being labeled as a complex case because it has more than 8 defendants. It got 11 total. Well, like we said, Lady Duck, P4K, Vermont Star, Tiny 3, Folo, J Money, Young Poke, and a few other dudes who are either associates or
Nasty
members
word.
of one of the Hoover sets in LA. And Vermont Star is the same dude that we spoke on in our Swan video.
It is crazy because all these dudes are on social media. All these people photos that they showing is from Instagram or YouTube or something like that. They all microphone in front of them or they trying to show. What's the main goal, champ?
The dude that just robbed Day 3 homie of his chains. And Tiny 3 is king off Manchester. Another rapper coming out the Hoovers.
Doing heads, pulling skits, nigga better keep a tool on him. 10 bands for a headshot and we gon' stand on. My cousin Wooty whoopin' Wooty wham, nigga, land on me. Fuck said trophy, nigga, long live the dead homie.
Now, a thing that we gotta stress, like we
Nasty
said, Young
music.
Pope, P4K, we gotta let y'all know these charges and allegations we finna go through is nothing to play with, and they only pertain to the people that we talking about in this indictment. Just because you see Young Poke name, this ain't got nothing to do with the Poke that we know that's doing this entertainment shit. With P4K, this got nothing to do with the Baby Stone Gorillas. Like I said, these charges are nothing to play with, so let's not get silly with the internet shit just because you see some familiar names in this indictment. But what's being said is that all these defendants helped each other in one way or another in this human trafficking ring, whether it was with the minors or the adults. Everybody played a hand in keeping the grip on the operation. And everybody knows Fig, and we know what hood is on Fig. It said that to operate on Fig, you have to be in good standing with the Hoovers.
You want to know what else, bro? I be seeing, like, in my algorithm sometime, I be seeing these nasty. They be taking their camera and they be going on Figueroa Street. Y'all be wilding. Y'all be letting these dudes in y'all communities with these cameras. Y'all be doing these hood vlogs. Y'all want everybody to know so bad what you doing that when they find out what you doing, they wildin', champ. Oh, my soul.
And they also allege that some people was paying taxes to play ball on Fig with some of the feet out there. But overall, that fear factor is what the feds are using to glue the Hoovers to a whole enterprise, resulting in this Rico. And the key thing that y'all gotta realize is the same shit every time. Instagram. Not only are these dudes using these music videos, but they using Instagram to prove the allegations in these indictments. The guns and the drugs are being shown on Instagram, shown in the music videos, and along with the weapon seizures and the seizure of the drugs, the feds are saying that the Hoovers are using this and keeping drugs and weapons around to protect their assets in these 2 motels and the clothing store. And they said it was also using the clothing store and the motels as stash spots for guns and drugs.
But y'all taking pictures and doing videos and all that in the clothing store. It's just,
And even though dudes like P4K is not from Hoover, they were still involving themselves in Hoover politics and in the Hoover enterprise. BPS is not mentioned once other than as an ally of Hoover in this indictment. But overall, the feds are alleging 441 overt acts that they using against all 11 of these defendants. So overt acts are going to be specific crimes and elements that the feds use as probable cause to set forth the indictment. And again,
440, that mean they been watching you for a minute. 440 means they've been watching you for a minute. Now, how can somebody think just because Smacc went on and spoke to the mayor and said, damn, it's a lot of shit going on Fig, it's nasty work, that it was his fault? Y'all really don't be thinking. Y'all don't be using y'all whole brain, bro. Y'all gotta think, bro. Think.
There's 441 different acts or crimes that were committed. Now, the feds start off by saying most of these defendants was branding their names, tattooing their names on these victims. Some adults and some minors. With Lady Duck having her name on 4 people. Hands having his name on at least 2 people. Folo, aka Figure Foe, also had his name on at least 3 people. Info had his name tatted on a 17-year-old girl on her face. And Vermont Star had his name tatted on a 17-year-old girl on her neck.
Yo, when y'all go in, it's lights out for y'all. I hope y'all know that chant. Nasty work.
Now, with Lady Duck, the feds say she is a hood trophy. They got this in the indictment, say she's one of the lifelines of the set. And they got Jay Money on the conversation telling somebody that Lady Duck has been holding the set down money-wise for a long time. And it was time for him to start increasing his profits in the streets for the hood. So situations like these is why Lady Duck is seen as the lead defendant in this case. Like I said, she was already down for 30 flocks in 3 different counties and was in custody since July of last year. But they got her on tape beating multiple females, and there was that one tape that came out in the store where she was seen a pregnant female, where she alleged that that female was dissing the Hoovers.
But it's Smacc fault. You know what I mean? But it's Smacc fault, bro. Y'all, listen, man. I ain't gonna lie. The only reason why I disagree with what Flacco says is because I don't like him saying it. But y'all are despicable people. On my soul. Y'all that's in this indictment, that's what I'm talking about. Just in case anybody is confused on who I'm talking about. Oh, you talking about Cali niggas? No, I'm talking about these people that's in the indictment, champ, right? Y'all are the nastiest of nasty, bro. So you was already in jail for 30 home invasions. 30 home invasions. And then all of a sudden, and they know all the ins and outs and phone taps now and all these things happen because you was down for 30 flocks. All for the set. Now, I hope you sit down and you don't tell and you do your 100 years for the set.
For them flocks, April 26, 2024, she's seen at that Stadium Inn with a 14-year-old girl. Now, her and Jay Money both had hands in lacing this girl up, but she was the main person in dealing with this little girl. And the crazy part is, dudes was actually out here dealing with little girls. At one point, they said this girl had $200 at 2 a.m. And by 4 p.m. the next day, she had $1,500.
You want to know what's crazy, though? Just thinking about, like, on, like, the police side, right? You see this happening. You like, yo, this girl look like she underage. I'm about to stop this. And your partner or your captain, he like, nah, chill, you got to let that happen. So you let this girl go out and violate herself or be violated for however long it took for y'all to get enough.
Bringing it straight to Lady Duck. And it got so crazy where the little girl's family ended up finding her at Stadium Inn, and Lady Duck told one of her homies that she's starting to look like a child predator out here dealing with this little girl. Now, like I said, Jay Money was with her, and all these dudes was around this situation with a 14-year-old girl outside. But like I said, Lady Duck, extremely active in this section. When they needed burners, they was calling Lady Duck. She was caught on a phone call with an undercover space circulating, and she replied that Hoover want his head. And one of the main people she was dealing with was P4K. Now, you know, P4K to the internet, he made a cold turn to the pimping. As soon as the rapping started to slow down, everybody saw it. The Baby Stones stopped producing music at the rate that they was producing it at, and P4K really took on this whole pimping moniker. And the feds started to use his rapping with glorifying the pimping and the gangbanging to build this case against him.
Oh man, bro, what is wrong with you guys, bro? Bro, what is wrong with you, bro? I think it's the Steve Harvey mustache in the back of the head. I think that's what it is, bro. The rap shit wasn't working, so you wanted to let everybody know that you turned into a P champ. And this is exactly what them people use to get this information on you. You see how that works?
But this dude was out here leveraging his rapping career, telling females that they could go on tour with him if they hit the blade for him. But on January 1st, 2023, it's like this made the New Year's resolution to get pimping because the feds got him posting an ad for females to apply to his pimping.
Look at him. You outside on the blade, bro. This is a auntie bill right here, bro. This is the auntie that if you got a problem in school and niggas is trying to jump you, you gonna call this auntie right here. This auntie coming outside to squabble with kids, champ. And you got the nerve to be violating women when you resemble one is nasty work on my soul. On January 1st, 2023, using coded language on Instagram, which is not coded, just to let y'all know that. It's not coded, right? Defendant Robinson posted an advertisement to apply to be his S-worker, noting that all applicants must be obedient. On Instagram, my guy? An application, my guy?
Now, after that ad in January 2023, July 2023, P4K with a 16-year-old female. And not only was he trafficking her, the feds allege that he was also having an intimate relationship with this girl as well.
Of course he was. Did you not see how he was shaped, champ? Of course he was. He needs all the attention he can get.
But he was in deep communication with Lady Duck. At one point in the audio recording in the Instagram message, P4K stated to Lady Duck that he minors over the age of 16 and under the age of 18. He admitted it out of his own mouth in his own audio recording, allegedly.
What is we gonna do about the out there and these kids walking Figueroa? No kids got to go to school and see this.
So let me just tell you, that's an issue that when we started in the 90s, we were dealing with as well. The difference is that the women, there were women that were on the streets then. Now they're girls. Yeah.
My son asked Maya Angelou a deep-ass question on my soul. My son asked Dr. Maya Angelou a really deep and astonishing question, champ. But do I think it's his fault that this Rico happened? No, I do not. The only reason why I wanted to show this is because what I'm going to show next is because people are saying that this is Smacc's fault, that Smacc is the one who did this. And these are content creators that's saying this. They're playing around with it. Oh, yeah, you saw him speak to the mayor and now everybody locked up. But this is what's really going on. What's really going on is these dudes needed to be locked up because they were being diabolical and they were posting this shit on Instagram. This is how they got locked up. Had nothing to do with Smacc. This is just because I've been seeing the back and forth, which we're going to get into. It's nasty work.